Think we should be back up. So if y'all just witnessed that temporary disconnect, yeah, we're back up. Man, we got disconnected. We're back. I lost all my people that was on the live. I guess we got to see if you can tag them back up again. Um, I had Jay Walker, I had Dedrick Eccles. um, who else did I
You'll
have?
probably have to do. I can't say.
Oh, okay. All right, so y'all just got dropped off our live, and we had a technical difficulty, but we're back on. So I'm gonna let Crystal go ahead and work on that in the interim. But I guess that's a part of being live, huh? You have technical difficulties, and you gotta learn. What's the word we learned for today, baby? Pivot.
Yeah, pivot.
You learn how to pivot, and that is exactly what we're doing. So forgive us for kind of like pausing in between because now we kind of got to get everybody back up. Um, so our live,
We got a little time.
here we go. It's people coming back up. So forgive us for that technical difficulty that we had. It's like everything just shut out. It was a wade in the water. Um, so what we're doing, guys, we're just kind of just tagging people back in here. And going back at it. It's a few people I just want to really be on this live, but
Womack.
what I want to talk about while I'm getting it together and I got everything pretty much started again, we talking about faith without works. I was saying just before the live disconnected that a lot of people, when you guys see like even a reel or you see somebody do a video, you see whatever it is that they've accomplished, the only thing you really see is the final product. You miss the intermission, you miss the stages that they went through. And shout out to the people that actually share their portions of the processes they're going through it because there are a lot of people, such as even myself and even my wife here, when we're going through something, we when we get ready to put a new product out or we're trying to introduce something new and we know that the journey is going to be something that's going to be turbulent and we can't really control all the variables as much as we want to, we can't control all the variables. And as unsettling as it may be, there are some people that really just like, they didn't get such and such. Oh, whoo, I'm glad they didn't get that. I'm so tired of them. And stuff like that really happens. Sad but true. If you're one of them people that's happened to that don't feel bad, shout out to those that share their moments of failure and their moment of success. Now, honestly, I'm more likely to not share my moment of failure unless it's just like a teaching moment. Um, moving forward, so I can show you like what I went through to get to a certain point. But as I'm going through it, I'm not as transparent to show you what I'm going through as I'm going through it because I don't know how it's going to be, and I don't want anybody's negative thoughts or connotations or anything to really taint my delivery, my forwardness, my everything moving forward. I don't want any portions of that process to be tainted. So I'm not as willing to give that information out. So it makes me very hesitant to actually do so. And I tagged Jay Walker in this. Jay Walker, a young guy, from the Pleasant Grove area. For him to be in his early 20s and have achieved the success that he has, even though, when he was, showing, hey, on 3340 and the show got syndicated and things, some portions of it was pulled back. They canceled it here, but it got picked up there. It's like the beauty of it, watching Jay Walker's journey, was that when there was a hiccup, another door actually opened for him. And I commend him so much for just pushing forward. I make sure that every time when I'm watching him do something, a video, whatever, I make sure, I'm glad I actually see him within my feeds because I actually click like, a love, or I even send him a message. Um, and sometimes I send him messages of inspiration, like, I'm proud of you, man. Keep pushing, because I would be remiss if I didn't admit that I wish people would do that for me, and not only that, I wish, I love it when people actually do that for me. When I don't have to say, man, this has been a difficult journey. I don't have to put that out, but somebody actually can, read in between, or see the process, or they're aware of the process, and they say, hey man, just keep pushing. I'm proud of you. Because you really don't know who's watching. You never know who's watching you, who's watching your videos and not clicking like, not clicking they don't like it, not clicking anything.
Mm-hmm.
That's why when you go back and you look at the audit trail of your Snapchat chat, or you look at your audit trail of your stories that you post, you see like, dang, well, I had like 1.2 thousand views, but only 8 people like it.
Yeah.
That goes to show you that a lot of people see your stuff, but they just not going to come in, don't want to come in. A lot of people out there are your quiet supporters. They like to support you in the corners because they don't want to go out there in public and show that they support you in public, because they may face some of your enemies that they don't want to face in public. So they give you that private support, but support is support.
Or they have told you how can I say it? They could actually be your enemy supporting you, because they've talked about you, they've talked bad about you, but they also see the good that you're doing. Ooh, and they like it. So
you gotta jump in that one. You said the enemy, like my enemy support me.
Yeah.
Like
it'll be your enemies that support you, but because they're your enemy, because they've talked and spoke bad about you to others, they can't publicly support you, but behind the scenes they do. So that's the reason why you'll see them view, but they'll never click the like and love button. They'll never click on those buttons.
So are you saying like they like degraded me in public? But they only know that, damn, that joker really doing it. They don't do that in private. Like,
they only do it in
if
private.
that's the case, they can't share that with nobody.
No,
because they're like, what? I thought you didn't like him or her.
Right.
But then again,
they can hit them in the foot. Yeah.
Yeah, they like, damn. But on a real, I'm proud of old buddy.
Yeah.
I had somebody like that before, and I guess they think that we had a personal difference years ago. And this person has, went on to do great,
Yeah.
And I didn't wish any ill will against this person. Unlike the encounter that we had, and at one point I went to this person's area. I have to be vague when I'm talking because I don't want anybody to even read in between no lines. I went into this person's area and tried. Actually, they just happened to be there. I was actually there to see somebody else, and I saw this person in that same area. And I actually went to go speak, and that person pointed to the other person. Like, no, you need to go speak to him. I was like, well, damn. I was coming to say congratulations, and I don't know if you thought we still had. I move on. I don't hold grudges. I went slapped the hell off on the supervisor a couple of months ago, and I mean it was bad. It was really bad.
It made me nervous.
It wasn't a moment to be proud of, but he had pressed my buttons and he had crossed the line. And during our conversation, he was trying to flex his authority. Where with me, it's not about your authority. It's the person. I respect the person. And we can move on to your position or whatever, but right. Let's respect each other as human beings and put out the correct information, or let's put out the information respectfully, and so you can receive the message, back respectfully, return. But we had a horrible encounter. But as time progressed, I actually saw that a lot of people. He's not the best leader. He wasn't the best officer. I already know. Y'all already know I'm talking about. He wasn't the best officer. Truth be told, he was a lazy officer. And I won't go, to further detail. But then when he became a supervisor, I was like, damn, anybody get promoted?
Jay Walker just tuned in. He said, "What's up, OG? Hey, Garfield.
What's
hey,
up,
Amanda.
man?
Hey, Shauna.
Hey, Jay, if you missed the I just spoke about you a while ago, so you're gonna have to hit the rewind or whatever after we're done. But in this particular encounter with this supervisor, after we had our differences, people understand. I have my differences with people, and I move on.
Yeah.
Like I think
you don't sit in it.
I don't bask in the moment of our difficulties. Yeah. And I don't understand that. I move on. My wife had to learn that about me early on. We go boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, hey, what you want to eat for dinner? You gonna watch this movie? And initially when we first started dating, she's like, "Can we just argue about?" Yeah. But that's over. What you want to eat? Crazy. I move on.
Crazy.
And I thank God that I'm built that way because life is too short for you to have issues with people in the event that they pass prematurely or something happens to them.
Yes, you do, Jay. He's got to get on the show soon. Yes, you do.
Yeah, we got to get them on. So moving forward, so this disagreement I had with supervisor, I saw how a lot of other people, quote unquote, didn't like him.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I felt bad for him.
Did you?
I really did. Let me tell you this. He really treaded lightly on the future encounters with me because he saw how.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Try Jesus. Please don't try me. Yeah. So after he learned his spiritual lesson, he actually came at me differently. Now he was like, "Hey, Dunn, hey, could you do such and such?" He pauses now, and you know what I say? Certainly. What you need me to do? Because I see he's using his words more carefully with me. Don't try that with me.
The thing is that you never know what a person is going through. You never know what a person has been through for them to react a certain way, for their emotions to be high.
Correct.
But then, like you say, and you've done that with several of your not had bad encounters, but you've had to let them know, hey, you're not gonna talk. We're gonna respect each other.
You have to set the tone.
Yeah.
Especially when people cross the line.
Yeah.
If you don't set the tone with people, then they will use you and abuse you, and they will just trample right over you. Yeah. And the beauty of setting a tone with individuals, once you've done that, it's kind of easy from that point.
I've done that with you, and I've been so proud. You even checked me on it. You was like, "Oh, I'm proud of you. I like how you did that."
With me?
Yeah.
Against me? What you talking about? Like, you check me all the time. What you talking about? It's like, that wasn't a moment. Like, you check me every day. What you talking about?
No, I don't have to check you every day. There was just one particular moment.
You speak your mind quite freely.
I don't know.
I'm talking about I've never recently experienced an encounter where you actually didn't check me freely. You quite comfortable in that area. She acting like I have pause. No, you don't pause.
I do.
You run through that thing like a green. You're like all gas, no brakes. No, you don't pause.
True.
But anyway.
But yeah, I don't know what happened, but you were like, I didn't go back and forth with you. That's what it was.
Oh, when you were wrong.
I wasn't wrong.
Yeah, it was a day you were wrong. And you didn't go back and forth with me because, you are a defensive character. Your pride gets in the way.
Sometimes.
Your pride gets in the way. And for that moment in time, you actually yield back. You actually yield back. And I was like, wow, I'm not used to this. It kind of threw me off because it's like you would do something and then you would defend what you did. I'm like, what are you defending it for? There's nothing to defend. I mean, the prosecution rests, the defense should rest too. There's nothing to defend at this point. What are we defending?
Anyway, going back.
So anyway.
Amanda says, people will not like my posts of my daughter's shows, but will inbox me that they liked it. I don't get that. I don't understand that. I don't understand that either.
I mean, people.
Your daughter's shows are really good, by the way. Her daughter can sing and act and all of that. So she's in theater. It's really good.
But hold on, I didn't finish the story about this guy.
Oh, go ahead.
But I was seeing, going back to the guy I was saying about, we had our differences.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give a recap. We had our differences. I let them know how I feel. Let them know, what line not to cross with me again. Just let me know what you need to get done. We can go ahead and move forward amicably.
Right.
So after we had that difference and moving forward, I speak to him. Hey, I guess he thought I wasn't gonna speak to him. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna speak to you. That's just me. I mean,
you scare people when you.
Yeah. I mean, hey, how you doing? Damn, he just cussed me out the other day.
Yeah. Like then we just get into it.
Hey, you good? Yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
And that throws people off. But that's actually, I'm being genuine. It's not being fake.
Yeah.
I've literally moved
Because you've
on.
moved on.
I've moved on. Life is too short to sit here and be stupid with people. So, anyway, I was witnessing how other people was
treating him.
Oh, I was like, damn, I felt bad for the dude. Like, his peers, his subordinates. I was like, damn. So, now when I make contact with him, I was like, hey, what you good? Like, I actually try to help him out now.
Sometimes.
Because I don't want, I felt bad. Like, I don't know what he's
you don't know what he's going through.
And I told you what that kid said about him.
Yeah.
I was laugh. Yeah, I was that kid, what that kid said about him in my face. I was like, oh my goodness, did he just say that? But anyway, I can't say it.
Like I said, you never know what a person is going through. You never know what they have been through. You never know what moment they are in. And it's always good to check on them. You saying hello and good morning can go a long way, believe it or not, because you never know what that person is going through in that moment or that day. So,
I mean, if the right good morning at the right time could call somebody, or the right, hey, how you doing? Like, really, you okay?
Yeah.
Can cause somebody a breakdown.
Yeah.
Because they could be sitting there holding this information in, holding these feelings in, and they're not okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of not being okay, we're going to take a moment to pause and send our sincere condolences to the White family.
Yeah. Caleb White.
Caleb White, Pinson Valley High School.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot imagine how those parents feel.
Right.
My heart goes out to them. I mean, from Crystal and I, man, we really hurt for them.
Yeah.
Having kids of our own, oh God, we hurt for them.
Having athletes, our kids, being athletes to where they've been on the field, they've been on courts. I can't imagine your child being at practice and then getting that phone call.
But we're gonna take a moment of silence just to really pray for that family, and then we're gonna come right back up. So let's just take a moment of silence just for about 10 seconds. All right, we back. So,
I almost got emotional.
That was hard to watch that video.
Yeah.
This morning with the parents.
Yeah.
The dad got me the most. The dad said, I'm not mad at God for taking my son. He was a great boy. He said, I miss him. And then he came back. He said, I miss him dearly.
Yeah. Yeah.
When he said, I miss him dearly.
Yeah.
That got me. It ain't what he said, it's how he said it.
Yeah.
And I can hear the quiver in his voice.
Yeah.
Oh, that did something to me.
Yeah.
It did something to me to watch that handsome young man had his whole life ahead of him. Mm-hmm. And I was so proud of his mom, because his mom said playing basketball was a privilege in our house. He was bigger than basketball.
Yeah.
That was just something. That was something.
They knew academics come first.
She said academics is the first thing that comes forward in our house, and I was like, you know what? I love that.
Yeah.
Because the media ran with basketball star, which he was great at basketball, but he was bigger than basketball, and I don't want to throw this in the wrong direction, but for some reason, people of other races think that that's the only thing that we're good at.
That's how we get out.
Yeah, basketball,
football,
and judging by what his mom was saying, his academics was on point too.
Mm-hmm.
And they really drilled that into him so he could have the opportunity to play basketball. She pretty much said that if his academics was not together, then he would not have played basketball.
Yeah.
So clearly that tone was very serious, and she meant that, and he did what he was supposed to do academically.
Even his older brother, because I think his older brother, that's the one that was on the news. There's two of them, and I think he's in college. And he said, I remember, I don't know if it was on Facebook or if it was news, but he had said that the little brother always, would play around and think he was better than me. And he said, and I can honestly say, my little brother was better than me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know how that feels.
Yeah.
I don't want to experience that.
Yeah. Amanda, let's go on this. She said, yeah, it's so sad. Praying and so sad. Condolences to that family. I know that feeling personally. I lost my nephew the same way. Happening to too many athletes. CPR back mandatory in schools as well as colleges. Yeah. I actually reached out to Pleasant Grove.
Maybe start thinking about the young lady from the cohort.
Yeah. I asked Coach LeBeau when all this happened, I said, hey, are y'all CPR certified? The coaches have to be CPR certified. He said they have to do it every 2 years. They renew. But the players, I said, what about your players? And he said that would be good for, you don't even have to do all of them, but some of them.
Well,
to be
it would be nice certified. To do all of them, but they'll be covered under the Good Samaritan law, because some people like, I don't want to touch them. I may get sued.
Yeah.
As long as you acting in good faith.
Okay.
People are like, wait, that person broke my bones, because you can break the ribs when you're doing CPR. But under the Good Samaritan rule, you will not be.
Hey, Victoria.
I mean, that just won't happen to you.
So I did ask that, because Post Finder, she even said
did she comment about that?
No, she hasn't, but I'm gonna talk to her. Carolyn is her name, about coming. And then talk to Principal Watkins about having that. And it not just, I'm speaking on Pleasant Grove because that's where we live, guys. I'm not putting us in a box, but it needs to happen everywhere. And I think it would be a blessing for her to get that contract and be able to come out and to do that, because it's needed.
Well, this is the thing, and we don't know.
Yeah.
When the young man died, they said medical emergency. Yeah. We really don't even know.
Yeah.
Could CPR had helped him?
Yeah.
Under those conditions.
Yeah.
Because we don't actually
know what the medical emergency was.
Medical emergency was.
Yeah.
And to be clear, honestly, I don't care what the medical emergency was. The young man is not with us.
Yeah. It just made me think of.
But you make a good point, because we should ensure that, like, I'm wondering now, maybe somebody can chime in. Is there a protocol for teachers to be trained in CPR, or even coaches? Is there a current protocol?
The coaches are trying. They have CP. They have, in order to coach, they have to have CPR.
Okay, so
yeah, the coaching
staff. Okay,
yeah.
So what about administrative staff? Period.
Probably not.
So that needs to go across the board, because the chances of that happening is just not just on a basketball court or football or what have you, or track and field. And then that can happen in the classroom.
Yeah.
So that needs to be more universal. At this point, this is where you charge your leaders, your elected leaders, more or less on the state end, to make sure that this is mandated.
Yeah.
And I'm glad we're bringing this up. And, I'm going to reach out to our state senator, Marika Coleman, regarding that, because that would be an awesome initiative to make sure, and we can make this, and I may be missing something. Maybe there's something already written. I don't know.
Maybe.
But maybe it's not. And in the current literature, or the current verbiage of it needs to be expanded or be clarified or amended.
Because I don't know if we've become, because nurses are in the school. There's a nurse in the school, but there's not a nurse for after
Nurse
hours.
can't be everywhere.
So I don't know if it's like depending on her. So handle things during school, and then of course you have the coaches after school. But things happen. There are times when the coaches step away, and some kids freeze up. You know, especially if they don't know what to do. When
we get done with this podcast, we need to contact Principal Watkins.
Yeah.
We'll start there.
Yeah.
Literally, we won't call him up.
Yeah.
He's very good about answering, and ask him what is the current protocol for Jefferson County school system, and how and abroad, all the other school systems as to how is CPR being taught, or how is it being mandated across the board? What you got?
So Shauna says, having a senior and an athlete, it hits close to home. Shauna, and I actually thought about nephew when all of this happened. So it definitely hits close. I remember when Kavon would get hurt on the field when he did something to his finger.
It was his shoulder,
his shoulder.
In the ER. And that day he passed. Hold on, didn't he pass out? That day I had to come to Children's. Remember,
he was very close. He got hit.
No, he was in the.
Ambulance.
No. Let me rewind this back a little bit. You were driving with him. Y'all were heading back. You on the phone with me. You freaked the hell out. You was like, he's not responding.
Oh yeah. Let me tell you what he had. He had the HPV shot. He had it, and he went to train with the infamous Coach Jeff Jackson. He went and trained with him because Kitty was still running, so he went and trained with him, and he got sick there. He was like, Mom, something's not right, and he passed out there. And they were like, do you want me to call the ambulance? I was like, no, I'm on my way. Yeah, because I went and got him. And he was in the car, and I was on the phone with Lucy, talking to her, and she was telling me everything.
Lucy, let y'all know.
Dr. Mitchell, sorry. We went, she told me to go in the gas station, get something for him to drink, and he was drinking. And then as we pulling off, Caitlin was talking to him, and then he just blacked out. And so I'm talking to him and calling him, and as a mama to see that, it scared me. And I was screaming and calling his name, and he was unresponsive. And I was like, okay, do I just stop and let the ambulance come and get him? And Lucy was on the phone. She was like, take him now. He was dehydrated. And then it was something with that shot, that vaccine, that made it even worse. So it was really bad. So again, I'm not saying I don't know what happened. But I'm not saying that's what it was.
But there's never a not a need to have CPR across the board with all staff, even the damn janitor.
Yeah,
needs to be trained in CPR.
Tonita, hey, she said it be nobody but God that had me tune in. Let me go ahead and set my alarm for Tuesdays. Yes, ma'am. Set your alarm.
Oh, okay.
That's my cohort classmate.
Shout out, hey, cohort classmate.
She says I agree. Everyone should know CPR. Amanda said, if the students are trained, there's a chance they will take action. It may save a life. I agree with the teachers being trained. We have to be trained here at my job on CPR and stop the bleed for active shooter purposes. Yes.
Oh, who's that?
Amanda.
Active shooter? What's that? Oh.
She said they have to be trained for that.
At where?
I don't know if she want to put her job out here, but she's not a teacher.
What does she do? What does Amanda do? You know? Because stop the bleed is what I had to go through.
Mm-hmm.
Stop the bleed is like you learn how to apply a tourniquet. You learn how to pack gunshot wounds. Yeah. Like when you said stop bleeding, I'm like, no, that's a real course.
Oh, I know.
That was taught by the medics. Of course, the active shooter, man, that's God.
The world we live in now.
Yeah, the world we live in, man, that's wild. Like, I didn't know they had a stop the bleed course too. Like that was a mandated course.
She said I can do it all.
Go ahead, girl. Do your thing.
Yeah, but we definitely need to talk to Mr. Watkins about that to see. It just, I could only imagine. Like I get nervous. Our two youngest ones, they run track now, and I pay attention to things. And when something, what are you looking? What are you doing?
Keep going. I'm finna be.
But when they get, a little woozy or something goes wrong with them on the track, I don't necessarily get nervous, but I'm very, very attentive. Oh, she said police trained to get the shooter, and we have to take care of ourselves until.
Who was that?
That's Amanda. Are you about to call?
Yeah, go ahead, keep
Oh,
going.
well, that was it. But yeah, so it hit close to home because I think our daughter Caitlin knew Caleb because she was telling me how nice he was to her and all of that. And then of course just having athletes in our home. So he's on the phone trying to get Principal Watkins now. Yeah, he's probably busy.
Sure, I'll leave voice there.
Oh, I'm gonna go back and read.
I'm trying to leave
After Victor Hill passed at Hoover, they are required to have AEDs on the field at all times. Oh, I forgot about that one too. Yeah. Yep.
Man, I am good.
And I'm pretty sure they have AEDs.
I am currently
that actually should be everywhere. Is that what you're saying? Oh, at Hoover.
Because we were talking,
but it just that was a scary moment. Again, we are praying for the White family because I can't even imagine. I pray to God that we're never put in that position as parents. So yeah, but he's on the phone with.
The question was, as far as
high school
with
principal,
the school is concerned, not only Jefferson County school, well, we'll start there with Jefferson County schools in itself. However, what is the current mandate for CPR training? Like, who is mandated to receive it within the actual school?
All coaches have to go to CPR, and it actually pushed through by the athletic association. So all those coaches get CPR training. Administrators get CPR training. Now there has been no mandate for regular teachers.
Now let me pause. I'm finna get back on this podcast. You don't mind saying that live on my podcast, do you? I got you. I'm about to walk in there because this is more educational. I'm trying to educate the people. Talking about CPR. So we trying to tell the people now what is the current mandate, because what I'm planning on doing is to take it further, because I don't know what happened to Caleb White specifically. But we know this kind of goes full circle for us because we had a medical emergency with Kavon when he was playing sports, and Crystal just came out of this cohort program where it's actually a registered nurse that's there that went through the program, and she has CPR certification called business called Post Finders. So the thing is, like, it needs to be all the way across the board, not just coaching staff, because
not just administrators.
It's either. And we're talking about even as far as the school janitor.
Right.
So my thing is this, like, I'm glad you clarified that, because now I gotta put that out there to the people, like, hey, just coaches. But now I'm trying to see, do I start with at the state house, get with Marika Coleman, so they can pass certain laws to make sure that this is all the way across the board mandate, because this can save our kids.
Well, you probably want to start with the Department of Education and see how Ed Mackey handles it from there. State superintendent.
Yeah.
It might be just a thing of just going to the state superintendent, in my thought, that would be the easiest route to the state superintendent and get his thoughts on it, and then kind of go from there. Because it may not even have to go to the Senate or whatever, because the State Department of Education can mandate for the education area.
So in that respect, what I will most likely do is send a letter from Councilman Dunn, and I will CC it to the state reps in the state house representative for us as well, so they can be aware of it. So everybody's kind of on the same page, because that right there hit home for me, watching the mom and the dad. They got interviewed, man, and listen to that dad talk. It hurt my heart so bad.
And there's so many underlying issues out there.
Yeah.
That so many things can happen, and I mean, it is it's a really sad day when you have kids that have situations like that, or in a cardiac arrest or whatever the situation may be.
Yeah.
And then you do everything you can, but at the end of the day, I mean, it's still rough no matter what.
Right.
It is, man. So I hate that this happened to the White family, but it takes certain things to happen for action to occur, or for people to even be knowledgeable of certain circumstances. But when we know better, we need to do better.
That's right. And it's sad it has to be that way, but this is where you learn to do different things. When certain things happen, it's like, wow, we need to do some different things.
Yeah,
so,
we do.
And you don't like it to happen to somebody, but at the end of the day, you got to learn from it.
Yeah. Well, I thank you for your time. What I'm gonna do, I CC you in that letter too, because I'm gonna state that I found out, got clarity from you regarding the current procedure. Man, this can really help save so many lives in the future, because like I say, I'm talking about not just athletic staff, everybody that's an employee within that school should be CPR certified. I'm talking about the janitor, I'm talking about the substitute teachers, and they ain't gonna show the bus driver.
Right. And they can, and I'm sure funds could be allocated to do.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm on it, man. I appreciate that, Mr. Walker. I'm gonna get back to this podcast. I appreciate it. We're gonna follow up, and I'm gonna CC you in that letter.
All right, man. Have a good day.
All right, man. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye.
Shout out to Principal Watkins at Grove High School.
He always
answers. He always responds to an email. Anything that we've had. We've never had a bad encounter with Principal Watkins.
Man, that was so informative.
I've called him and he's told me, or I walked up to him and he'll tell me about Caitlin. Caitlin is his boss. Caitlin is our daughter, Kitty, but he said Kitty is his boss. He was like, she's somewhere bossing me around. You just missed her because she bossing me around.
He is so informative. It's amazing. It's amazing how God works.
Yeah.
We said faith without works, huh?
Yeah, faith without works is dead.
It's amazing how God works.
I tagged Carolyn Tanita. I could not remember Carolyn's last name, but she is the owner of the Pulse Finders LLC. She is an RN here locally.
Were you able to tag? Is that
I
her
did
page
tag her. That's her. Yeah, that's her. That's her. So that we can have a conversation and get her set up to continue to make the difference that she's making.
Man, that is so awesome, man. It's like, it's unfortunate that somebody has to be a martyr for things to but I think his mom said it, or somebody said it, that
his mom and his dad
have
said it,
that he's touched so many people, and through his life he made a change, but even through his passing, he's still gonna. Because here's
the thing. You and I have had this conversation. It's like, oh God, I'm not done yet. I got this. I'm not done yet. And he says, yes, you are.
That's gonna be the most.
Yes, you are. And for Caleb and I think his dad spoke on it. And like you said, his parents. He's touched so many people living when he was alive. And he's touched even more people in his passing. Like, he's still doing his work. He's still working.
Yeah.
And he's no longer earthbound, but he's still working. So even though when we think we're not done yet, or we haven't done enough, God says we have, and it's job well done, my good and faithful servant. You've done your job. Now you've got to do it beyond, because now his passing has sparked. It's a flame of others, because I asked this and all I kept thinking was CPR, not knowing what happened to Caleb. I was like, just CPR, because it's happening too often. You had the NFL player that went into cardiac arrest.
Yeah.
You had LeBron James' son
Hamlin,
that went into cardiac arrest.
He had a He had a heart attack.
Yeah. So you have, and like Principal Watkins said, you have these athletes seem to be so healthy and they're doing everything because we know what we feed our kids, what they can have, what they can't have, all of this stuff, but you miss something.
The thing about
there's
it is,
something.
I think there's a mandate for every
They have to have physicals.
every daycare. Well, yeah, but every daycare worker has to.
Oh, they have to have it. Yeah.
So what's the difference?
Yeah. Yeah.
If a daycare worker has to have it, why shouldn't that same mandate go to our?
Principal Watkins said the administrators are CPR certified. The coaches are CPR certified.
No, he didn't say the administrators.
Yes, he did. He said it. Yeah.
We're gonna have to play that back. I missed that.
Yeah. He said, but not the teachers. As far as
I'm sorry. I put administrators and teachers in the same bucket. So we're talking about the principal. Assistant principal.
That's it.
But they don't have the most contact with the kids. The teachers and the coaches do. The principals are the secondary contact when you're in trouble or just in passing. So that means that we're passing the buck to the wrong direction.
Because what happens if a child goes into cardiac arrest in a classroom? Who is that teacher calling out and panicking? I know they have walkie-talkies.
Or even in the lunchroom.
In a lunchroom.
That means lunchroom staff need to be certified.
Everyone in the building.
Everybody in that building, whether you are a substitute teacher, whether you are the janitor.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't even care if you're the groundskeeper.
Yeah.
Think about the groundskeeper. What's the chance of the groundskeeper person having contact with the kid if they passed out on the field?
Yeah.
They need to be certified in that.
Yeah.
It needs to be, man, this is Crystal.
It's a village.
Man, do you feel it? This is power. We didn't even come here with the intentions of that for this show. But look how the Spirit really moved us to that direction.
Thanks, Caleb.
You know, so yeah, thank you, Caleb. Even in his passing, he is still being a real true vessel.
He's still working.
To create change and effect change, and I'm gonna be one of hopefully others that's gonna say, hey, hold on, we need to change this model up to make sure that our kids have the better opportunity to succeed, to be alive. Wow.
Yeah.
It's been a great show. Shoo. That's been a great show. Shout out to everybody that tuned in through our feed when it dropped initially. This has been a great show. If you missed it, please play it back.
Even if it hopped along the way, you know.
Yeah, but you know.
We always bring it back.
Man, this has been an excellent show, man. We've had some really great shows and very informative shows. And I want to personally thank Principal Jarvis Watkins of Pleasant Grove High School for taking my phone call and giving us that informative information as to how, what is the current procedure and protocol for CPR and mandated training. Again, just to clarify, he advised that it's only mandated for administrators, which does not include teachers, administrators, and for coaching staff. So he advised me to go ahead and send a letter to Dr. Ed Mackey, which is the state superintendent. And I'm going to make sure that I also CC our current state representatives. And also, we will also move forward with letting CCing the principal as well. So he'll be able to be in the loop because without them, we wouldn't even know this current information.
It's Ed Mackey and then Dr. Is it Gonslin?
Dr. G is over Jefferson County school, but you know, so we need this thing to go overall. We need to go statewide.
Got you.
And then not only statewide, maybe we can get this thing even looked at even further with the Department of Education. You know, we need to ensure that there is no lack of funding as relates to this. So we need to make sure that there is no funding hiccup. Whether there are grants that need to be applied to make sure that even post finders, girl, won't he do it? Even post finders and all these other entities are able to go in and teach these folks, and they'll be able to do it based on grants and receive that dedicated funding that they need in order to provide said services. But you know what? Done it all show. We gonna be on it. Councilman Dunn gonna be on it. Crystal Dunn gonna be on it. KD Dunn gonna be on it because we are in the position to affect change, and change is not going to happen if you don't speak up and say something about it. Faith without works is dead, and change begins with you.
Y'all have a great day. Amanda, have a great day. We love y'all. Enjoy. Hey, stay cool. It's not as hot as it has been, but y'all stay cool.
Stay breezy, my kneesies.